Welcome back to the channel. Today we have got a very special video. We're going to be reviewing that big win for Wrexham yesterday over Welsh neighbours Swansea City. We're going to be giving an in-depth review what I thought of the game, what this means for Wrexham going forward in our push for promotion to the top tier of English football, and also we're going to be having a look at what could happen for Wrexham on the injury front after the mini injury crisis that Wrexham are suffering at the minute. We're going to be discussing all the players that are out injured, when their return will be, what the plan is for Phil Parkinson to combat this crisis that Wrexham are going through, and how Wrexham are continuing to defy expectations within the club and the rest of the championship to maintain such a strong league position. Before we get into today's video, if you're looking for the best Wrexham AFC content, it's coming your way on the channel. Make sure to get down there and click the red subscribe button. We're on the road to 29,000 subscribers. Let's go for 500 likes on today's video, and of course, like I said last video, if you're on Instagram, make sure to go and drop me a follow. It'll be in either of the corners up there. And without further ado, it's only right that we review that big win last night. So another huge result in our quest to secure our championship playoff spot come the end of the season. Yesterday, we got our sweet revenge over Welsh neighbours Swansea City in a 2-0 victory, in a win that now sees us go 3 points clear of Southampton with 9 games to go in the championship season. It's a win that needed to happen for Wrexham Football Club given the poor result against Hull City on Tuesday, and it puts us in an even stronger position than we already were going into it. Game by game, Wrexham are just improving on the performances, improving on the results, and we're just churning away the results like a lot of fans didn't expect to see so far in the championship for Wrexham, but we've just continued to grind them out and just defy expectations. Talking on the game, it wasn't a game that I think Wrexham fans and especially Swansea City fans will not remember for years to come. More for Wrexham fans in terms of a performance, it wasn't a pretty performance. It won't be a performance that people will go, oh, 5 years time, 10 years time, remember that game where we battered Swansea City at home. It probably wasn't that game at all, because I thought Swansea City dominated the possession side of things, which we'll get talking on in a minute, but we did exactly what we needed to do, and I think it was definitely a big mentality thing within Wrexham that we needed to keep within the camp, because going into this stage of the season with, at the time, 10 games left, coming off the defeat to a fellow championship promotion chasing side in Hull City, it was so important that we didn't let that result affect us, affect the motivation, the confidence within the camp, the coaching staff, the fans, etc. And we needed to make sure we went out there and put in a good performance. And it wasn't a pretty performance, like I said, but we got the job done, which is something we didn't do on Tuesday and something that was a must on Friday against Swansea City. One, because we needed to maintain that strong position in the championship, but two, revenge needed to be sweet after what happened before Christmas with that last minute goal against us and their fans goading on social media. So it was nice to get a clean sheet, 3 points, put 2 goals past them. I think as well, you have just got to remember that this is a very injury stricken Wrexham squad, which again is going to be the theme of this video, but like I said so many times, it's a squad that continues to defy expectations. I think people need to remember our midfield three from this game that has been the majority of our midfield throughout the course of the season were completely out. We were playing a completely different midfield that probably hasn't played a league game yet in the championship together. So to go out there and put in the performance that we did, to obviously bounce back from that defeat to Hull City, brilliant performance. And if we are looking on the game itself, I thought the first half could have been anyone's game. Wrexham had a good chance, of course, got the goal through Nathan Broadhead, but Swansea City had that chance one-on-one, which Arthur Okonkwo, what a save that was, a pivotal moment in the game, providing yet again a big moment. That penalty save against Hull City, yes, we didn't go on to win the game, but he's producing these big moments in matches that are really helping us, just propel our performance and provide us with the 3 points or the point that we get from the games. Staying on the theme of defence as well, I thought at times we were a bit open in that first half, especially down the right hand side and especially down George Thomason's side. I think Ronald, their winger, got the better of him twice, but again, it wasn't the best defensive display. But when you put it in comparison to how the game ended with a clean sheet and with a 2-0 victory, again, you just got to give your flowers to the defence, because so many times this season we saw Dom Hyam was apparently sick at half-time. Phil Parkinson had confirmed the defence always dig in, and I think you're looking at the majority of the back five. You're looking at George Thomason, Callum Doyle especially, Dom Hyam. They're all going to be in contention and the running to secure our player of the season, and I think it will be between those three, because they've been absolutely fantastic this season, and I think that says a lot about how well the back five has done over the course of the Championship season. If you are looking at the goal as well, it was a goal of real quality of that of a Premier League side. A defence-splitting pass from Callum Doyle found Nathan Broadhead, who danced his way through the defence, danced past Cameron Burgess to slot home his 7th league goal of the season. For everyone watching this, for the Welsh Wrexham fans, will be buzzing at the minute because Nathan Broadhead is hitting really good form right before our World Cup playoff fixture at home to Bosnia and Herzegovina. So it's really good to see Broadhead, getting those minutes in the tank, getting those goals, getting his confidence as high as it possibly can, because if he carries on this form in the next game against Watford and possibly on Saturday against Sheffield United, I can't see any reason why he wouldn't be starting in that World Cup playoff match. Looking at the second half as well, I thought the second half was pretty much a carbon copy of the first half. Swansea City dominating possession but unable to do anything with the possession they did have. They had a couple of chances. I thought their finishing in front of goal was really poor. Obviously going into this with the top scorer of the league, he missed that one-on-one chance, and overall we kept him really quiet, which again just shows how good Wrexham have been defensively over the course of the Championship season, and how we have the ability to play against some of the top players in the league and just completely shut them out. But in general, it was another Callum Doyle goal, which has gone down as an own goal, that secured 3 points late on for Wrexham, and we wrapped up another big 3 points. It was a big shift from everyone involved. Like I said, multiple players out through injury, George Dobson out through suspension, players coming into the team, players coming into the squad that have not really had the minutes that they've deserved or they've needed over the course of the season, but are coming in and really taking their opportunity by the scruff of the neck. Full focus now goes on to Watford on Tuesday night, which again is a massive game. They're in and around the mid-table places. I think they're 10th or 9th maybe, so a win for them could propel them even further and knock on the door for Wrexham for that last playoff spot. But on the other hand, a win for Wrexham with 8 games to go of the season, it could be a really vital win. And I think the week coming up against Watford and Sheffield United is going to be so important, because I think a lot of people are looking at the fixtures, they're looking at Coventry, they're looking at Middlesbrough, the big games that are coming up against the top of the table teams. But you need to get over these potential banana skin games against the likes of Watford, Sheffield United, Oxford United. This will be a real test of the character in the Wrexham camp if we can pull through against, like I said, some of the teams that are lower down in the table but are more than capable of beating us. It was also good to see owners Rob and Ryan continue to annoy and anger thousands of fans across all of social media yesterday. The Hollywood duo did make their commentating debut, which featured the likes of Ollie Palmer, Ben Foster, Ben Tozer, Stephen Fletcher, so it was really good to see all the familiar faces around the Wrexham camp, obviously past and present players coming in for a big day. And yeah, you can understand why a lot of EFL fans were possibly moaning at the fact that Wrexham were getting all the coverage, but I think a lot of people were forgetting that you could literally, by a click of a button, go onto the normal commentary. So I can understand slightly where they're coming from, but again, it's more publicity for Wrexham. It was a great day out for everyone involved, to have the owners there, to have loads of previous players that have played a big role in the rise for Wrexham at the leagues, to enjoy what was a big day and a sweet victory. As well, it ended up gaining a lot of exposure across all of social media for the wrong reasons amongst a lot of EFL fans, but again, it's even more publicity for Wrexham. Bad publicity is still publicity for Wrexham, and we always turn the bad into the good at this football club. And if you did watch the commentary, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. I don't think I'll be watching the full 90 minutes all the way through, given the fact that the only clip I've seen is Ryan Reynolds saying, has any player ever caught the ball in their mouth before? And if not, what would happen? So let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, and let me know your thoughts in general about the game. So moving on to the injury side of things, the second half of the video now. In my opinion, it is pretty remarkable that Wrexham are still maintaining such a strong league position. We're still occupying that last playoff spot, given, like I said, the injury crisis, quote unquote, you could say, that Wrexham are in at the minute. And at an important stage of the season, we're powering through against teams that, we shouldn't really be competing against, considering the players that we have got out injured and players playing out of position. We're doing really well, and we're really holding our own in a league that we've never really had a taste in before. It was like 40 years since we've last been in the second tier. So to go up to the Championship, to do as well as we were doing with a very fully fit squad, to then continue to do it with a squad that has got injuries left, right and centre, I think it does go a lot deeper than squad quality in terms of mentality wise, just the confidence in the Wrexham camp to just succeed no matter what the factors and what is getting in our way of possibly defying our season. So if we are looking at the injuries, we're going to be giving updates on all the players that are out injured, starting with Libby Cacace. Now, it's been a bit hit and miss with Cacace this season. It's so disappointing because he was one of the signings, of course, coming abroad from Empoli in Italy, that he was coming into the football club. There was a lot of talk around him because Wrexham had made a European signing for the first time in God knows how long, but it's been hit and miss. I think I saw a stat. He's only started 7 league games for Wrexham this season and only featured in around 14, which is so disappointing. And if we are looking at the current injury status of him, he sustained a setback in his return from rehab. He got an injury against Millwall at home in that 2-0 loss, which proved out to be a hamstring injury, but he's also suffered a calf injury which has set him back in his rehab from that hamstring injury. So he's not had much luck at all, and Phil Parkinson has described the injury as a big blow to Libby Cacace, going off obviously against Millwall. It didn't look good then. Whenever Cacace does have a knock, he just seems to come off straight away, and it's a shame because I don't want to say it, but we've seen this season that he is pretty much made of glass, and whether that is adapting from the way they played in Italy over to England, I really don't know, but it doesn't feel like we're going to see much of Cacace in the running of the Championship season, which is a massive shame because the games that we have seen him in, he has shown some real quality, and like I said, he's not had much luck at all since coming up to North Wales. Matty James, like Cacace, James has suffered a setback in the return of his toe injury. I didn't realise a toe injury could be this serious, and it's likely that Matty James will be in contention in the Wrexham squad after the international break, so it doesn't look like we're going to see him on Tuesday against Watford or on Saturday against Sheffield United, which again is really disappointing because at the start, you know, you look at a toe injury, you can't really do anything for a toe, so it's more about letting Matty James rest up, not getting involved in contact training, but obviously it's a bigger issue than what Phil Parkinson expected. I do believe it's his big toe, so again, it seems like a small problem, but it's proved to be a big problem in terms of him missing games at such an important part of the season. Ben Sheaf now, I've already reported on Ben Sheaf twice on the channel, but just to reiterate, he'll miss the rest of the Championship season. He's out for 10 weeks due to a medial ligament injury that he did sustain at home to Ipswich Town. Again, it's disappointing. I don't need to say it so many times on the channel because everyone knows who watches the games how important Ben Sheaf was, that defensive midfielder sitting in front of the back three and just keeping the structure really well in midfield. He was a really effective player, so to have his miss over the past 10-11 games of the campaign is going to be big for us, in the wrong reasons that is. Kiefer Moore is one of the most recent players to suffer an injury. Now, Kiefer Moore has sustained a small tendon split. The interesting thing with Moore is that he trained earlier on in the week for Wrexham. I think on Monday he then went for a scan, but the scan that followed showed that it's a bigger problem than what Phil Parkinson expected, which is disappointing because you can see that he's competing in training, but obviously there was an issue there for Kiefer Moore, and the 33-year-old is now a big doubt ahead of Wales's World Cup qualifying playoff fixture against Bosnia. So as a Welshman, I'm really disappointed at that, and I really hope that he can make a quick recovery and boost our chances of going to the World Cup. And more importantly, club-wise, we do need him for the big running of the Championship season. He won't be featured against Watford, he won't play against former club Sheffield United, so it's about resting up for Kiefer Moore, getting back fully fit and returning for the final 7-8 games of the season. I think it is also a blessing in disguise as well for Kiefer Moore and Matty James. Whether Kiefer Moore does go away to Wales or not for the World Cup playoff fixture, I don't know, but it'll also enhance their chances of a return to league action with the break from the Championship games that we do have. So that's a slight positive and a slight spin to a bad situation for us. And finally as well, I think it's really important and interesting to note that Phil Parkinson in an interview has stated that we've explored the free agent market to fill the void of the players that are out injured. From what I can imagine and common sense wise, it's going to be looking at a central midfielder, but given the limited number of free agents at this stage of the season and the fitness levels, we're in March now, we're coming towards the business end of the season. No player will be match fit if they've not been without a contract or they've not been contracted at a club from the start of the season, so it'll be hard to find someone who will match the quality of the side and that will easily come into the midfield, say for example, and just do the job really, really well, because you can't expect someone to be fully fit at this stage of the season and just bring that quality that we do already have in Ben Sheaf, Matty James, George Dobson, etc. So yeah, that's something important to note, but in my opinion, deep down, I don't think we'll be getting a free agent in at this stage of the season. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you did enjoy today's video, make sure to drop a like, subscribe, do all that good stuff, and I'll see you in the next video. Let's hope for a big 3 points on Tuesday night against Watford, and until then, take care guys, up the Championship Reds.